Welcome to AI ConvoCast, where we bring you the latest in AI and tech innovation. Quick housekeeping. Check out the affiliate links in our description. Using them supports the show, and please don't forget to rate, review, and share if you like what you hear. Let's jump right in.
Today we will be looking at Google's launch of Gemini 3.1 Pro and its massive reasoning improvements, the Pentagon reassessing its relationship with Anthropic after controversy around a military operation, a Microsoft Copilot bug that exposed confidential email summaries, and Nvidia reportedly closing in on a $30 billion investment in OpenAI. Google dropped a big update this past week with the preview release of Gemini 3.1 Pro. The model is now available across free, Plus, Pro, and Ultra plans inside the Gemini app as well as Notebook LM. The headline numbers here are genuinely impressive. On ArcAGI2, which is a benchmark designed to test general reasoning ability, Gemini 3.1 Pro scored 77.1%. That is more than double what Gemini 3 Pro achieved. On SWE Bench Verified, which measures performance on real-world software engineering tasks, the model hit 80.6%. Google is framing this as a major step forward in complex problem-solving. TechRadar reported that Google, quote, just upgraded Gemini again, and 3.1 Pro more than doubles its AI reasoning power, end quote. Google's own release notes describe the model as, quote, a step forward in core reasoning, end quote. Now, it is worth noting this is still in preview, meaning Google plans to keep tuning the model before a full general availability launch. Early reactions from users have been a mix of excitement about the reasoning gains and some pushback around tone and creative output. One nice detail for users in the United States is that free-tier users are reportedly getting access to Thinking 3 Pro features, which means advanced reasoning capabilities are no longer locked behind paid plans. That is a meaningful move for accessibility and positions Google aggressively in the race to win over developers and enterprise customers who care most about reasoning performance. Shifting over to the policy side of things, Anthropic is finding itself in an unusual and uncomfortable spotlight. The Washington Post reported on February 22 that the Pentagon is reassessing Anthropic's status after its Claude model was reportedly used in preparation for a military raid in Venezuela back on January 3 of this year. Anthropic had been holding a $200 million Pentagon contract and was uniquely approved for use on classified networks. Now defense officials are reportedly considering labeling Anthropic a, quote, supply chain risk, end quote. One defense official was quoted saying, quote, we may require that all our vendors and contractors certify that they don't use any Anthropic model, end quote. That is a pretty stark statement. Anthropic, for its part, pushed back on the characterization, stating, quote, Claude is used for a wide variety of intelligence-related use cases across the government, end quote, and reaffirming its commitment to U.S. national security applications. The company denies it objected to any specific operations. For context, Anthropic CEO Dario Amodei had published warnings about AI weaponization risks back in January, which likely added fuel to these internal Pentagon discussions. What makes this situation worth watching closely is the potential downstream effect. If Anthropic were formally labeled a supply chain risk, that could ripple far beyond its government contracts and affect enterprise partnerships more broadly. Claude was reportedly used alongside Palantir systems during the operational preparation, and the entanglement of frontier AI models with sensitive defense workflows is clearly entering new territory. This is one of the first visible fractures between a leading AI lab and U.S. defense leadership, and how it resolves will set precedent for the entire industry. On the enterprise security front, Microsoft confirmed a Copilot bug tracked as CW1226324 that allowed the AI assistant to access and summarize emails that had been labeled as confidential. The issue affected Copilot Chat and the Work tab, and specifically bypassed data loss prevention controls in Outlook's sent and draft folders. Microsoft categorized it as an advisory. The bug was discovered in late January, and a fix started rolling out in early February. Tom's Guide reported that Microsoft confirmed, quote, a bug that allowed Copilot to access confidential emails, end quote. The company emphasized that no external data leak occurred, and that access was limited to users who were already authorized to view the content in question. The exact number of impacted organizations has not been disclosed. Microsoft says monitoring is ongoing. For organizations in regulated industries like finance, healthcare, or legal, this kind of issue is a big deal, even if the exposure was technically internal. When you deploy an AI copilot that can read and summarize your email, the expectation is that it respects the same sensitivity labels and access controls that human users follow. The fact that DLP controls were bypassed, even temporarily, is a reminder that governance tooling needs to keep pace with AI deployment speed. Microsoft appears to be handling this transparently, but it underscores the importance of rigorous testing as these tools scale across millions of enterprise mailboxes. Nvidia is reportedly close to finalizing a $30 billion investment in OpenAI. Multiple outlets, including The Guardian and Barron's, reported on this between February 20th and 21st. The investment would be structured as equity, meaning Nvidia would receive OpenAI stock rather than tying the deal to hardware purchase commitments. This is a notable shift from a previously discussed $100 billion arrangement that was more hardware-focused and ultimately fell apart. Depending on the reporting, this round could value OpenAI somewhere between $730 and $830 billion. Nvidia is not alone in this round. Amazon, Microsoft, and SoftBank are also reportedly participating in what could be a broader $100 billion funding effort. The Guardian reported that, quote, the new investment would be in exchange for OpenAI stock, end quote. Barron's confirmed, quote, Nvidia is nearing a $30 billion investment in OpenAI, end quote. OpenAI has also been exploring new revenue streams, including ads in ChatGPT, and is diversifying its hardware relationships by working with AMD and Broadcom, while still relying heavily on Nvidia chips. This deal, if finalized, deepens the already tight relationship between the company that builds the most important AI chips and the company running one of the most widely used AI platforms. It is a signal of just how much capital continues to flow into frontier model development, and how the lines between compute providers and model builders keep blurring.
Thank you for listening to AI Convo Cast. Please don't forget to rate, review, and share if you like what you hear. Thanks and hope to see you again next time.